some fads just don't die. Hollywood seems determined to keep using cliches that are insanely overused despite not being good ideas to begin with. This list has a few rules. One is that the cliches here need to be intentional choices by the writers. For example, underdeveloped characters can't be on this list since writers don't intentionally make characters underdeveloped. However, something like, say, the stereotypical school bully character could be on this list since writers consciously gave these characters their lines and personality. Also, I know the name is worst Hollywood cliches, and throughout the list I will be using movie terms, but this list entails any story-related cliche. So I guess a more fitting name for the list would be Top 5 Most Distasteful Repeating Trends in Modern Narrative Writing. But Top 5 Hollywood cliches is more catchy. Finally, I should say that just about every cliche on this list has been done well at some point. It's just that most of the time, they are not. Well, enough rambling. This time!
Oh no, they're shooting at us!
Good thing bad guys are such terrible shots.
Man, these guys are elusive.
Superman is a lot more powerful than people give him credit for. I mean, look at these stats Screw Attack figured out. So tell me, how could a guy this strong end up getting thrown around by random people with lasers? For a guy that can take 10 octillion megatons, getting killed by that would be the equivalent of this. The problem is, Superman is constantly a victim of nerfing. Sometimes to make their jobs easier, a writer will make a powerful character at first get hurt by something with a fraction of its power, with little or no explanation. Such as superheroes that have to deal with this. Look at Doctor Who and his sonic screwdriver that can do anything as long as it's plot convenient. Or the TARDIS, which is even more inconsistent. For example, in this one episode, this big laser dome goes over the TARDIS, then conveniently for the writers, the TARDIS won't work. Okay, so let me get this straight. A time machine won't work because an equivalent of a dome is placed over it. Sure.
Such terrible shots.
Man, these guys are elusive.
So it's like there's characters that need more screen time, there are characters that get loads of screen time that are useless, don't progress the plot, or cause more harm than good. At best, these kinds of characters are forgettable. At worst, they're annoying and awkward. A good example of this is about every current generation Doctor Who companion. Face it, if any of those companions are useful before the season finale, it's either incredibly random, or something the Doctor could have handled by himself. Eek! I just used Doctor Who as an example of bad writing 2 times in a row, didn't I? Oh man, I might be in danger. There's only one thing I can do to save
Such terrible shots.
Man, these guys are elusive.
So, did you notice how I ended that last segment? Did it feel unfulfilling, abrupt, and inconclusive? Well, that's how I end up feeling when a writer tries to make a conclusion dramatic. Only have an end that fails to address the story's conflict, adds more conflicts, or cuts off right before what should have been the conclusion. To make myself clear, I'm not talking about cliffhangers because with those you know those conflicts will be addressed later. I'm talking about endings like the one to Cabin in the Woods where the writers decided it would be very conclusive but not random at all to end with a giant hand reaching from the ground. Or the last episode of Teen Titans which ended an entire TV show by adding never addressed conflicts such as the return of characters of Terror who now has amnesia and Slade who's been absent for an entire season. Do we ever learn why these characters returned? No! We only get to wait 6 years for this embarrassment! It's totally healthy to have that much rage about a show I watched 10 years ago, right?
Guys are such terrible shots.
Hold up. I'm going to pause this countdown for a minute to deliver a public service announcement to all other teenagers in the world. I have a few rules that make you safer. Rule 1. If you decide to go camping, don't do it in an area with a history of murders and disappearances. Do it in a nice, safe park. Rule 2. If when camping you hear a random noise, don't go investigate it. It might be a psychopath wanting to thank you. Rule 3. If there is a psychopath wanting to thank you, don't split up from the group. 5 on 1. is much better odds than one-on-one. Rule 4. If you find yourself alone with a killer, just call 911. If the force you're in doesn't have a signal, refer back to Rule 1. And finally, don't act like a cliché character from a slasher film. And if all else fails, just do that.
Such terrible shots.
Man, these guys are elusive.
I want you to quick think back to all the movies you've watched, video games you've played, TV shows you followed, and books you've read. Now, out of all of that, how many of those stories had a love interest character? Let me answer that question for you. Way too freaking many! If the overuse of these characters wasn't enough, 9 times out of 10 they're simply empty shells that don't even have a personality outside their love. Love interest characters also tend to be plot devices, useless, or exactly like every other love interest character ever! If you don't believe me that love interest characters are stupid and completely overused, I should probably give some examples. How about Jane Foster, Dana Barrett, Rose, Ridley Scott, Princess Peach, every single Disney movie, Prince, Eva, Blue Chick from Avatar, Elizabeth Swann, most of Ted's girlfriends from How I Met Your Mother, Padme, Trixie Tang, a number of characters from Glee, Cosette and her boyfriend, Bo Peep, Jocelyn, Peter Sarsgaard, Catwoman, and every single Bond girl. Well, I'm Mr.HatGuy, and I hate the annoying, cliché, generic, overused, two-dimensional, stupid love interest character with an undying, fiery passion! Except for Fiona Glenn from Burn Notice. She's cool.
Love, love me do. You know I love you. I'll always be true. So please.
With an ever-burning